Hi, my name's Anne and my presentation's on spina bifida. Spina bifida is a neurotube defect in which the brain and the spinal cord are not enclosed in the protective coverings. The higher the lesion on the back, the greater the impairment. Most of the messages from both the motor and sensory nerves for the bowel and bladder functions are conveyed through the lower end of the spinal cord. So virtually all children with this illness will have a problem with their bowel and bladder. They'll also have the inability to move the lower extremities, and they'll also have some learning disabilities. The defect occurs within the first 28 days of gestation. It can go undetected if the lesion in the fetus is closed through a routine blood test, as all the alpha fetal proteins do not come out of the fetus and are roaming around in the mother. It can only be detected through a stenographer picking up the lesion with a scan. There's been a decline in the reports of spina bifida since 1998 to 2010. This is due to all the health promotions that they've run with the fortification of food and folic acid. There are three most common types of spina bifida. The most severe is the myelomeningocele, where the meninges and the spinal cord come through the open section of the spine with a filled sac, which is this one here. Then there's the meningocele. The meninges come through the opening of the spine and forms a sac that is filled with cerebral spinal fluid, which is that middle one there. There is a greater degree of nerve damage, but the conditions could be quite minor. Then there's the occulta, which is the mildest form of spina bifida. There's usually no spinal malfunctioning or opening in the back of the spine. It often takes long to detect, and children show no symptoms of this. And it's estimated that 5 or 10% of the population may experience this type of spina bifida and may not even show any symptoms or even know that they have this condition. With the most severe type of spina bifida, you can develop hydrocephalus, which is the build-up of the CSF, which is the cerebral spinal fluid in the ventricles and the subarachnoid space in the brain, and that builds up the pressure here, where the students have to have, or you have to have a surgically inserted shunt where it drains the ventricles of the fluid. The impacts of this disability that is shown in the classroom is that students would have to leave the classroom to do the intermittent catheterization. Would be one thing that would take them away from their learning. They would have problems with their memory. Establishing eye contact before giving info and instructions is a good way to go. Give preferred seating at the front of the class. Provide hand copy notes and not get them to multitask and do both, like handwriting and listening at the same time. They have comprehension problems as well. They might know a lot about their condition, but they certainly don't know information about other topics. So the use of software devices as WordQ or a Kindle can be used so they can review text without having to reread it. They have attention deficits, and this can be assisted with short mini assignments and breaking large ones into small ones, so they can easily get through those assignments. Making visual contact prior to the demo or instructions is another way to help them. They have problems with initiation. They rely on others for cues and starts. It's good to establish regular routines or organisational checklists, such as graph organisers of visual timetables, so they can know what's coming up next and get themselves prepared for that. They have difficulty in organisations, so it's good to be a good role model for them, and assist them with the materials, only have what's required on the desk at that one time, which is the way to go, so it doesn't confuse them. These students who have memory and organisation difficulty or will also have sequencing problems. To improve this, give students tasks that require sequencing, like story chains, explore timelines, and use real-life activities like ordering the months of the year, which would give them help in this area. They also have decision-making problems and problem solving. They need to apply previously learned information or experiences to new ones, so they can solve their problems, give students multiple options of decision making, like giving them role playing. They have visual motor integration problems. They are significantly challenging for these students. Technical devices such as tablets, computers can be used to play games. This will give them increased hand and eye coordination skills. Making use of multi-sensory approaches is the way to go, like using visual, auditory, tactile, and gestury, kinesthetic, or smell, not just using one approach. The other thing that these students need is a good fitness program, because they need to build their muscles in their upper torso so they can easily get in and out of their wheelchair when they need to without being assisted, which gives them greater independence. So it's good to have all the students in the class be involved with the student with spina bifida, to socially interact with them, so they can have so they can be made welcome in their classroom, and then they won't feel socially isolated from other students. Thank you for listening.